It's time for a story. Are you ready? My dad grew up in the ancient mining town of Beckley, West Virginia, where the mountains are high and the valleys are low. Also, it is the home of the legend of the White Panther. In my Eggo Waffle years, let's be honest, I'm still in my Eggo Waffle years. I lived in North Carolina. This is where I spent the majority of my growing up years. In the late 2000s, my family decided that they were going to buy my grandpa's property in Beckley, West Virginia for hunting. It was about this time when technology was getting better and mobile devices and social media was developing. So there were these deer cams that were super high tech, and they could post the pictures that they took on your Facebook timeline. Since we couldn't just drive to Beckley and get the deer footage and drive home, since it was like a 7.5 hour drive one way, we just decided to get these high-tech deer cams. I'm pretty sure I heard the legend of the White Panther from my dad when I was very young, when everything was scary and much larger than they actually were. So don't be surprised if the legend is a little exaggerated. I was 7, people. Now, in the early 1900s, there was said to be this panther that had a silver coat that was 500 pounds, 6 foot tall, and as muscular as the Rock freaking Johnson. Teeth the size of a saber-toothed tiger's, and eyes that glow orange that could strike fear into anything in its gaze. One night, there was an attack by this White Panther at a village house on a hill in Beckley, where it attacked a woman who was said to be screaming just before the panther got her. Her scream lives on within the panther. The legend states that whenever the panther howls loudly, you can hear the woman's scream come out of the panther's mouth and echo through the valleys of Beckley, West Virginia. Back to nearly present day, or rather the 1960s, my grandpa was in school that was not too far from his house and was near a railroad track that also ran by his house. So every day he walked to school and back along the tracks. One day he was walking home from school and it was late, and he was coming up on a railroad bridge across the ravine where he spotted the White Panther sitting on a boulder next to the railroad tracks just before it became a bridge. They began to have a staring contest, which apparently my grandfather won because he said that the panther got up and walked into the woods. You can still hear the White Panther with the womanly scream echo through the valleys to this day. That's the story that was told to me. Now, having this knowledge in the back of my head, my dad's deer cam spots a couple of contestants for us to make into deer jerky or stew. So we decide to borrow a friend's off-road ready pop-up camper, and me and my dad were going to head to the land and go to the war with these tasty Johnnies. I'm going to be honest, I was low-key freaked out about the legend of the White Panther, but I wasn't going to let my dad know that. I'm not a sissy. So the night before the hunt, we're getting settled into the camper, and we're just eating corned beef hash and like Vienna sausages, you know, the manly foods. And we're drinking like a buttload of Mountain Dew, just because Mountain Dew. We go to bed around 10 o'clock, and I'm just tossing and turning, having a nightmare. And you would think that the nightmare would be about the White Panther. Well, you'd be wrong. I was having this dream where I had to pee really bad. And I was in this building full of people, and for the life of me, I just could not find a bathroom anywhere. Now, I kind of sort of wake up a little bit, just enough to realize why I'm having the dream. And that's because I actually have to pee really bad from all the Mountain Dew that I drank. Like, it's bad. Like, somebody drilled a hole in the Hoover Dam. So I get up and I look at my dad, and he's still snoring, definitely asleep. You know when you have to wake up your parents and then they jolt awake and it terrifies the crap out of you? Yeah, I don't like it either. So I decided not to wake up my dad because honestly at that point, if he had jolted awake, I probably would have been scared so bad that I probably would have peed my pants. I couldn't take it anymore. I had to let the floodgates open. So I put on my pants, I didn't bother with a shirt, and despite the fear of seeing the White Panther if I went outside, I did just that. I went outside. It's pitch black. My only hope of seeing the White Panther before it snags me is this little flashlight that I decided to bring along with me. So I walked a ways down the path, still in sight from the camper in case I needed to run back. So I found this tree that looked great for peeing on right off the path at the edge of the woods. So I stick the flashlight in my mouth and I unzip and I release the Kraken. Have you ever had to pee so bad that when you start peeing you feel like that you'll never ever stop because you feel like you've been peeing for like 5 minutes? Yeah, this was one of those times. So there I was, standing at the edge of the woods, peeing, and I look up, and I see something in the blackness of the woods, about 10 feet in front of me. It looks like a pair of eyes, kind of reflective, almost like how cat's eyes reflect light in the darkness. Could this be the White Panther? I freeze. I can't move. I can't breathe. I can't do anything except pee because I had to pee really, really bad. And then I see a third eye that's maybe winking at me or blinking. Except this one was a little bit to the left of the other two reflective eyes, and it was less reflective. It was more glowy, like a light or something, and it was red. And that's when I noticed the little boxy shape. I know what this is. It's the deer cam. And it's looking at me, taking pictures and posting them to Facebook while I'm peeing. I'm flipping out because the flashlight's in my mouth, I can't speak, I'm in mid-pee, so there's no way I'm moving until it's done. And every time the red light flashes, it's taking another picture. So I spit the flashlight out and I start shouting, "Dad! Dad! I'm peeing!" I just hear rustling around in the camper. "Dad, I'm peeing outside. Come out here." I think my neighbors heard me shouting. He finally comes out and shines the flashlight on me. "What's wrong, son?" "I'm peeing in front of the deer cam and it's taking pictures of explicit content and posting it on your Facebook timeline." "Oh, crap!" So then he runs over and he grabs the deer cam off the tree that it was mounted to. And about this time I was almost done peeing. My dad scrambles around to try to pry it open and get the batteries out before it can upload the who knows how many pee-pee pics to his Facebook timeline for all of his friends to see. Finally, he takes the batteries out about the same time as I finished peeing. We went back to the camper and we took turns checking Facebook to make sure that it never uploaded. And if it did, we'd delete it or whatever. Luckily, nothing came up. And that's all I got. That's the story. Now I have to pee.